Okay. So yeah, welcome again, all. So this is the introduction session to explain you about the program structure. So let me share my screen and give you a bit of review. You guys can see my screen, right? So
Yes,
how,
we can.
yeah, how we started this program couple of years back was we found a sort of problem in the industry, how people are learning the DevOps and cloud concepts and what the industry expects. And over the last couple of years, the industry has also drastically changed the expectations from an employee, what sort of skills they bring. That has changed drastically. Uh, uh, Around 3 years back, just having few skills, or maybe 3-4 years back, just having basic skills was probably good enough. Having some experience in cloud or DevOps was good enough to secure a nice paying job. But from last few years, the basics are not enough, and the industry requires more than basic hero to zero courses that people are familiar with. They just covering them is not good enough. So what happens that is it's very easy to learn DevOps and cloud. I have said it in many of my YouTube videos, and it's quite easy. All the things you will learn in cloud or DevOps have been designed in a sort of object-oriented way. You can think of, compare them to real life world. So in cloud, you are renting somebody's computer. So if you are procuring an infrastructure, an EC2 instance, or any VMs in Azure, you are paying for it. It's a common thing that you rent few things. People are very familiar with renting houses or renting business office spaces or anything else, renting other objects. So it's pretty similar to that. You have to secure that space. People are familiar with security from many years. That yes, if you are renting a space, you will have to secure it, manage it. So everything in cloud or DevOps is so real life relatable that learning cloud is not that difficult. At least learning the basic constructs of cloud is not at all difficult. You will think, yes, it makes sense. Anything you learn in cloud, you will after a while think, yeah, it makes sense. If you need to do this, yes, you will have to do this. But still doing it in cloud is very difficult. When you start implementing those things, it's not straightforward uh, because of the tools complexity, because of the process related complexities, uh, and itself the entire landscape of DevOps and cloud. These are all general terms. DevOps and cloud could mean different in different companies and organizations. For a startup, it's different thing. For a startup, they will look at the elasticity. They will say, oh, I can rent something very quickly, and I need something which helps me scale quickly. So that's the aspect that they will think of. Cloud or somebody like a bank or financial organization will think that yes, cloud is an option, but how do I secure the cloud? So they will think from a security point of view first. So even though they are the same uh, cloud infrastructure, but it makes it is how they will think about cloud is different. So if any engineer is working for a startup or bank, will have to think differently. They cannot. A bank is not looking for the speed, whereas a startup is looking for speed. Bank is looking for security. Startup may be able to compromise a little bit on security. So the mindset of the engineer also has to be different. Maybe their resume that they are building has to be slightly different. Maybe the interviews, if they are going for a startup interview or if they are going for a bank or financial organization, their interview process has to be different. Same goes for other industries. If they are appearing for uh, a different organization in a different domain, the mindset with which the person who is going to hire is different. So the mindset of the employee who is expecting to take up that job has to be different. So all this thing makes the DevOps and cloud difficult. And through this program, what we try to do is take you guys a little more closer to the industry, what industry is expecting. So what we have done is we have selected 10 different projects, and these are based on how we selected all these 10 projects are what companies are doing in cloud, how they are doing with all the activities using DevOps practices, and based on that, looking at various job descriptions and so many other aspects, the projects that we have worked ourselves, and we see that things that industry is using right now, that shows up in the interviews, that shows up in the job descriptions. Based on that, we have created these 10 projects. uh, I'll just go a brief, and then I will tell you more about the program details. So, and at the end, I will take all the questions if still there are any doubts. So companies are using the agile practices. Uh, Not everybody who is not working in the industry may not follow the agile practices and may not be aware of it. So we wanted to bridge that gap, how organizations are using maybe Atlassian Jira for their day-to-day stand-ups and that entire agile process. We want to provide you a good roadmap about your DevOps and cloud learning. We want to bring you up to speed so that you start thinking more like a team team member and a DevOps engineer in a team. Um, and what are the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer in a agile team? So we want to start with those concepts. A lot of time people are not aware of this, and I have seen it myself. People will secure a job, they will join a team, and they wouldn't be aware of the agile processes, the Jira way of working, or all these agile concepts, and they struggle in that aspect. So we'll start with a bit of warm up on that. Then I have seen people are already aware of AWS or Azure as their cloud provider. They know, they are certified. They know a little bit, but usually how we have seen is that people are working in a single account. Organizations tend to create multiple accounts. So we want to bring you up to speed. How do you work in a multi AWS or multiple Azure account scenario? What happens? How do you manage? How do you secure? What sort of uh, security things you will, put in place to secure those multiple accounts? How do you track costing and all that? Then we'll go a little bit next level, which is while there are so many things. Yes, there is Docker, there is Kubernetes, there is Lambda, there are so many things in to be covered, but everything starts with basic that any company will need compute at the end of the day. They will need compute, whether they need AI projects, they need to host their websites, they want to host their Kubernetes cluster. They will create EC2 instances. They will create virtual machines in cloud. So with zero to hero or basic program structure, people will only know that they can create these instances from the basic base Ubuntu or Red Hat or Windows base images that the cloud provides. Organizations don't use them. they tend to create their own custom AMIs or images, and then they use them. So this project will take you on to a bit of a journey where you will be building those images. Now, after a while, what happens in organizations, once you build a lot of such machines, it could be your Kubernetes, it could be your auto scaling groups, or it could be your elastic beanstalk. Anyhow, you create lots of computers, lots of EC2 instances, and the numbers start to grow. How do you manage them? How do you manage them when there are many of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them? So that's where you will need something like Ansible to either make such changes to those hundreds of servers at the same time. Now, in basic courses, you will see that people are learning shell scripting and bash scripting to make changes onto the server, which is acceptable, which is probably a good start, but organizations are not using them. They are using tools like Ansible, which can orchestrate, manage multiple such tools. So these 4 initial projects, we believe, will be relevant in lots and lots of job descriptions. But the problem is that so many tools and technologies and processes are possible. We still not cover the serverless thing. What if you are applying for a startup which is heavily focused on serverless infrastructure? They are not creating EC2 instances at all, or they are creating EC2 instances, but they are also creating a lot of serverless functions. Now, serverless, you would, from basic understanding, you would know that are small functions written which can go and do your work for a very short period of time, and that's what your requirement is. So you need to know on the serverless side of it, especially to target those startups. So we will have a dedicated project on that. Then most of the organizations are not following uh, they are not creating their infrastructure using the AWS and Azure console that you get. They will not follow console.aws.com and then start creating EC2 instances and all. They will be creating through Terraform. And so we definitely need to have a dedicated project on that, how you will create multiple resources using Terraform, meaningful resources that gives you an outcome as well. And there is a spelling mistake. The GitHub Actions Project 7 we brought last time. We used to do it through GitLab and Jenkins, and we found that the industry is moving a lot towards GitHub Actions. And then also the companies are not only having multiple accounts, but they are having the multiple environments as well. So project 7 and 8 focus on GitHub Actions, infrastructure automation using the previously generated infra. So you would have generated some infrastructure in project 6. You would have created some AMIs in project 3. You would have created some accounts in project 2. We will use all of that knowledge, and then we will build these project 7 and 8, where we will build GitHub Actions, infra automation, and an entire DevSecOps CI/CD pipeline to deploy into, say, dev, QA, prod, different environments. That is how the 7 and 8 projects will unfold. Then we know that Kubernetes is a big beast. A lot of interviews, this is usually a deal breaker. If you don't understand Kubernetes and the organization is using it, then no matter what you do in those 1 to 8 projects, if they are using Kubernetes and you have not done that, it would be a straight rejection, right? So to cover that aspect, we are covering a couple of projects on Kubernetes. We will have a GitOps driven deployments using Argo CD and Helm charts. And the 10th project is we will be focusing on monitoring observability of modern infrastructure in cloud, including Kubernetes. and the rest of the infra that we created. So we'll have to monitor that as well. So all the infra we created in project 1, 2, 3, how do you monitor them? What sort of agents or what sort of monitoring stuff that you will place on such infrastructure so that you get the right information and what that right information is. So that's how the project number 10 will be explained. So I know even after doing all these 10 projects, there are hundreds of scenarios still possible. But we believe that these are very common, frequently asked topics. There are still lot possibilities. The kind of architectures are possible. For example, a multi-cloud. Is there a project which covers partially on AWS, partially on Azure, some services from AWS? We are not covering that. Organizations are heavily using it, but we don't want to make it such a complex program that it becomes very difficult for you guys to follow. So you will have to smartly maybe dodge those questions and manage those complex interviews if you really get into a multi-cloud scenario. There may be a few other cases that we will discuss that we have not included, and we'll explain you what other options you can do. So you will still have to, even after doing these 10 projects, to cover all the interviews in the industry, you will probably have to spend some more time. So that's about the overview of these 10 projects. I'll take few more minutes to explain how this program will be running, and then I'll open for questions. Just hold on to your questions until then. Is it still readable, the program details?
Yes, Sandeep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the program uh, details. Here are some of the notes that I have been, most of you have already spoken to me one-to-one on WhatsApp, or you have seen my TalkMate page from where you have come through. This is how it will be run. And if something is not answered in the next 5-10 minutes, you can ask me, then we will try to answer your question. So the session timings, how we want to run is Saturday, 5 p.m. IST. We want to have live project session every Saturday. So next Saturday, 5 p.m. onwards, there would be the project number 1 will start. Then the subsequent Saturday, project 2 and 3 and something like that for 10 weeks. Why we are not doing too fast? Because then if we finish the projects much quicker, we have optimized this so that you only get one project to work on per week. And if you, for some reason, miss out, then you get slightly new project next week. So you are not staying behind all the time. You have some time to catch up. By Wednesday, anybody who is working on these projects, on Saturday, you guys will have all the unmute options. You can unmute yourself, ask any doubts. But on if you work on those projects by Wednesday, you will have real doubts. You would have scripting errors. You will have other issues that you will really face because you cannot ask all the doubts without working on something on Saturday itself. So Wednesday, we have a dedicated doubt session. This is not a learning session as such. So we will not bring anything on that.
Hmm.
Just go on mute if you are not talking. So Wednesday is purely doubt session. And then subsequent Saturday, you will start another project, and that's the idea. It's an entire complete live program, so it will be just like how we are doing it right now. It will be absolutely live. So I would request you follow the ethics. Just make sure you are unmute, and you only make sure you are on mute, and you unmute yourself only when you need to talk. So we should not have any disturbance. We have seen in past, if we see a lot of disturbance, people making noise behind the uh, like it's very hard for us to keep track and it distracts everyone. So you guys make sure that you follow it. It's your responsibility. For us, it's very easy that we don't allow any unmute option, that I can simply enable that and nobody will be able to ask questions, and it will not be the right approach. So we leave it to you guys. You guys be attentive all the time. Make sure you have pen, paper, and a corner in the house where you can attend these sessions on Saturday. And the second feedback I have got is people tend to go off topic. So stay on the topic. If we are teaching project number 1, then stay on that topic. Don't bring something else, some other concepts. Like the other concepts could be, how do you do this project in GCP? How do you do certain things which is not related to that topic, or taking the discussion entirely anywhere else. Wednesday is a good time for that. Wednesday you can, because it's not a specific agenda, it's not a flow, it's not something uh, everybody that we are following a specific flow. Saturday we are in a flow, we are trying to finish a specific project that day. So let's continue on that agenda. Don't divert too much. And you make that judgment, that is it really a question on topic, or it's an off topic question that ideally I should take up on Wednesday. So all off topic questions are suitable for Wednesday. The code that we create, all the PDFs that we discuss, and all the recordings that happens on that day will all be provided to you. So you just have to wait. As soon as the session finishes, the recording takes some time. Zoom will take some time to record it, then we'll push it to the platform. We'll then send you the link. It takes a bit of time. So it could take some time if you miss out on anything, but within 8 to 12 hours, you will have the recordings, PDF, and the code available. We will try if we can publish all the PDFs in advance. So you have them in advance. You don't have to wait for that. The other thing, WhatsApp is for us to send the Zoom link. Um, WhatsApp will only be used for sending the Zoom links or PDFs or recordings that we use so that we can talk to you guys. Slack is for all the discussions and errors and screenshots and stuff like that. So I hope everybody is on to Slack. If not, I will send the Slack link on WhatsApp so you guys can join that. When you signed up on TopMate, you would have got a WhatsApp and a Slack channel. I am sure all of you are there, but just in case, if not, then you guys join Slack as well. Make sure you write all your errors and stuff that you are sending. Be mindful that somebody will have to search it. Somebody will have to search it and then respond to your query. So don't send the entire screenshot of your error as it is. Make sure that people can select it. People would use ChatGPT, would use Google to search it. Make sure you send the text so that people can copy that text. And if you are sending screenshot, expect no response. In the Slack, if you are active, you are helping us respond to questions. We promise if you are responding to 10 questions, we'll send you 20 USD AWS credits. Now, free repeat for all the projects. Now, some of you were not ready to do projects, but wanted to take it as a challenge. So what I have promised to a few of the guys, and that's applicable for everyone, if you are not able to do all of them in this program, then in the subsequent batch, you don't have to pay or register anywhere. You will get a free repeat on all the projects again. But try to complete in the same batch itself if possible. Otherwise, you have option. It's not that we are going away or we are running away, completing the project not properly. And our uh, promise is that we'll try to help you as much as possible, so that you need any code, PDFs, recordings, previous batch recordings, any sort of help, um, you're not able to complete the program in this batch, you want another one, all that, everything is basically available to you so that you don't you know, stay behind in any way. Uh, Resume building and LinkedIn improvements and how to use uh, these projects in your interviews is something we'll take up entirely after the all the projects are completed. And these programs or these sessions will only be useful if you have really worked on the projects, because I will be heavily referring the project number one, project number two, and that way. So you will have to be prepared and done those projects. I actually wanted to do it only for people who have done the projects, but I thought maybe some people, some roles like project managers and business analysts may not be doing the projects as such. They want it more for learning. So the idea is that these will be relevant and important if you really work on the projects. Some people have asked for the certificate of experience or certificate of the internship that they need. So you reach out at the end of the program and we will provide you the internship experience certificate. But again, only if you show us a proof that you have really worked on the projects. Uh, then there were few questions around, is there any one-to-one session? There is no one-to-one session in this. The Saturday, the Wednesday is good enough that you interact with us uh, on any topic. So that's an opportunity for you to talk to us, understand any problem you have, so we can help you in any way. It's a group program. There's no one-to-one dedicated session for anyone in this program. But in the Wednesday sessions, we are happy to take any problem you have. It's not necessary has to have the program related problem. If you have something related to your career or you need any guidance or you need any help, Wednesdays, as we mentioned, we can derail that slightly. That's a random doubt session. So if you have a doubt outside of the program, something bothering you, and if we can help you on the spot with our experience, or we'll try our best to help you. And at the same time, this program is not to learn basics. So in this program, we may not tell you two basic details about what DevOps is, what is CI/CD, um, those basic information, how to create an EC2 instance in cloud. You should probably know it, how to do it manually. Uh, we expect you to have your own AWS and Azure accounts, and you work in those accounts. There is no lab or something that we provide. It has to be in your own account, and that's how we have learned, and we encourage that you create your own account. You manage it from security point of view. You manage it from cost point of view. That itself gives you quite a bit of learning. How do you uh, cost save? How do you save on the cost, and the how do you optimize it for security? We want you to learn those things in your own accounts. So that's about the program details, how we want to run it. And with that, I will stop sharing and I will take any questions. Please send Slack. I will send this Slack. Azim has a question. What is the duration of the class on Saturday and Wednesday? Okay, so Saturday class is expected to be around 3 hours, but because it's a live program, it can be 2.5 hours or it can be 3.5 hours, but on an average, 3 hours. Wednesday session, again, it's a live session. So it depends how many questions you bring, how many issues you guys face. So depending upon that, we expect it to be roughly 2 hours. But sometimes in some projects, we have seen 3 hours not enough for doubt clearing sessions. Now you guys can raise your hand. I will try to answer them one by one. Rajesh has raised his hand. Rajesh, can you mute yourself and ask your doubt? Rajesh, are you able to hear me? Okay, until Rajesh sorts out, I have question in the chat. How are we doing on these projects? On what platform are they being presented? So these will be as a platform, it will be on Zoom. As a cloud platform, it will be most of the projects will be on AWS, or some of the projects will not have any cloud at all. But yeah, we will not be doing any project on Azure or anything. All the projects will be done on AWS, but all the projects can also be built on Azure. Ashok Reddy, do we have any project? All the projects that we spoke about are Azure and GCP relevant as well, but we will demonstrate them on AWS. But for example, there's a Kubernetes project, there is an Ansible project. It just requires cloud compute. It doesn't matter from which cloud provider it's coming. So you guys can create it on your own environment and learn the concepts. Sachin Jain, for these projects, so we will be demonstrating on AWS, all the projects. Can we do project side by side along with session? What is suitable? No, so that's not how it works. During the session, you will not be able to work that quickly, or that hand holding will take a lot of time. So we will do it. We will share you the source code, we'll share you the steps, we'll share you the recordings. Then you do it afterwards in your own account with a people.
Geetam, 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 Geetam.
Khushi, can you be on mute? So this is what we have to be careful. Either you raise hand and then I'll ask you to unmute, and then, or otherwise we'll have to stop giving you the permissions to unmute. So I think I answered for Surbi. I would suggest you do it afterwards. Can we showcase these projects in our GitHub profile? Will there be any assistance if we stuck? Yes, the idea is that you build your own GitHub profile using these projects and then use that in your resume. Yes, if you are stuck, yes, there will be assistance provided, but it shouldn't be too basic. We'll assess whether it is something we should come forward and help you, or it is too basic that you should already know, or you should debug and investigate yourself. Not every issue is something we will be able to resolve. So we will take a call if this is a project related problem, or it is your own learning has to improve before you work on this project. Tony, can you unmute yourself and explain? I thought the projects will be worked on in a live session. Absolutely, yes. They will be worked in a live session so that individuals can go back home and then work on it. Absolutely, that's how it will be. And practice it as many times they want. Absolutely, that's how it will be. Are there any prerequisites? Anything need to have it with us handy before starting? You will definitely need a dedicated workstation, your preferably a good laptop. Then all the tools we will discuss as we make progress. An AWS account is absolutely mandatory. If you want to build it on Azure, then Azure account mandatory. We need only an AWS account for the project. Yes, we only need one AWS root account for all the projects. In this, in the multi-account project, we will then create multiple child accounts in that. Then we'll learn how to do that. So yeah, by the end of this, you will have one root AWS account and multiple other AWS accounts, but you will be charged on that main root account. So those concepts will discuss. But yeah, you will need one to start with.
Hi, Sanjeev. Rama here. So recently, there is a lot of discussion about this multi-cloud strategies and multi-cloud projects. So will there be any discussion covering like how the multi-cloud can be achieved? Or
I think I spoke about it. This is a scenario we don't cover.
Okay.
I spoke about it, right? Or did you join late? Or
I just joined, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned that, yes. Even after doing these 10 projects, there are maybe many such scenarios that are possible, that the architectural patterns and stuff that organizations are using that you may have to practice. And this was one of the example I gave, that we are not covering anything around multi-clouds in this program.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, if there is something you want to build, we are happy to help you. We are happy to make it industry level. We are happy to guide you on Wednesday sessions, and then you build something.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, guidance on any topic in DevOps and cloud is welcome. Any career problem or anything, but we'll stick to these 10 projects.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm again reading the chat. Does any project include production-based Kubernetes cluster backup? Yes, the Kubernetes related project will have the Kubernetes production-grade Kubernetes cluster setup. So that will have all the backup strategies. For creating resources in cloud, do we need to use Terraform or UI? Mostly we would prefer using Terraform, but when we are explaining you certain concepts, we may be using UI, but we would prefer that even the projects that are not targeted to learn Terraform, that you create those resources as well through Terraform. Will you provide the source code for these projects? Yes, we will provide the source code. Now, the providing source code has few problems associated with it. It's very hard. Like we would have built something, a certain source code will work in our environment because we have certain dependencies met already. If I give you some shell scripts which we have created or something on Ubuntu operating system, and you try to run it on, say, Red Hat or some other platform, obviously that will not work. If we give you something AWS specific, you try to do it on Azure, it will not work. So if I'm giving you a command which expects certain packages to be available, for example, Terraform, if we have not installed Terraform, obviously it will not work. So we will give you source code, we'll give you all the details, but it is not going to run in your environment simply how we are running it, because there would be dependencies that we would have installed, made available for that program to run. Program needs some environment variables. You may not have them. So have it with a pinch of salt, that even though we are providing code, it may not work as it is in your environment. You will have to understand how to make that code work. That will improve your debugging, it will give you more depth or good understanding of how it's working. Billing of resources, if we don't have idea, can we get better approach for AWS for learning approach? No. So we prefer you do it on AWS. We would not want you to do it on local environments or your laptop, or again, you will be stuck with basic knowledge. Billing, you be careful, learn the concepts, learn how to secure, how to make sure that your cloud remains secure and cost effective. Is free also is involvement of DevSecOps projects? Yes, DevSecOps involved in one of the project in security will be discussed in all the projects, but there is a dedicated DevSecOps project. Windows or Mac doesn't matter what you are comfortable with. I believe we will be doing majority on Windows, but you can again do it on through any of the OS. Is AWS free tier account enough to do the projects? Most likely not. You will have to spend few dollars. That's why we are giving away some credits. If you are helping each other, we will try to distribute some AWS credits as we go. But free tier is not going to be enough. It will be charged what we expect it to be in $10 to $15 for all the projects. But it could be slightly more. It could be $20 maybe for all the projects. Provided again, it depends. If you for example, you do the first project and take 6 months to do the last project, then your cost will go up. Assuming that you finish all the projects in 2 to 3 months, we believe $20 should be good enough. FinOps topics will be discussed, but not as a theoretical topic. We will not tell you the FinOps related basic stuff. When we talk about serverless, when we talk about all the other cost-saving approaches, that's when the security, FinOps, all these things will be discussed indirectly. Yes, project will Route 53 is included. What are the certification that we could take after the course? The program is not targeting certifications. So it does not make you eligible for any of the certification. Maybe Terraform you can try, but AWS and all, even though we are covering lots and lots of use cases and stuff, but certifications are different subject. The idea here is to work close to industry, not to pass any specific exam. Tony has $300 credit given by AWS, so enjoy. Okay, now this time I have read the chat. Scenario-based question covered in the session. Yes, scenario-based. Stay on the topic on Saturday. Bring any random questions on Wednesday. That is how we want to run it. Try to stick on to the topic. And you don't have to type all these questions. You guys can raise your hand in the Zoom, and then I'll call one by one, and you guys can unmute and speak and mute yourself again after that. Do we have access to the new projects? All the interview questions, everything will be discussed after all the projects. It will not be one by one after every session. First, you finish the 10 projects. Then we will discuss how to use them in your resume, how to improve your LinkedIn, your resume with those projects and keywords, and what the possible interview questions could be, where to speak about which project, in which scenario. That all will come after the 10 projects are completed.
Hi, Sanjeev. Hello.
Yeah, I'm not reading any more chat. I'm back to audio video questions.
Sanjeev, can you hear me?
Can't hear you that well. Let me increase the volume on my side. Yep.
Hello.
Yes, Amrut.
What level of knowledge do we required in terms of CI and CD tools to do this project?
Basic level is definitely needed. Even if you have done a basic hello world, yes, that at least that level is needed. If you have more, then there's no.
No, I don't have more in CI or those kind of,
Okay.
you know.
So you have 1 full week. I have given you the project overview. I will send you this presentation as well. Start learning from the first session. What I'm going to do is I will send out the past batch that we did, pretty much the same projects, maybe slight improvements that we have done over the last 2-3 months, but pretty much the same projects. I'll send everyone that playlist so you guys can brush up. You can learn in advance if you want to, or you get the idea from this the overview that I provided and prepare in advance on that topic. So yeah, you have a week to study a little bit about Agile, Jira, and all. But from second session onwards, CI/CD will start picking up. So you again basically you have 2 weeks to reach to a substantial level.
Okay, got it. So those video, if you can able to send it, that would be great actually to understand.
Yes, so I have to send you guys Slack channel. I have to send Slack join URL. I have to send old recordings. And they're just for reference. So somebody can fast track. It's not not everybody.
One more doubt, Sanjeev. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, this project which you are showcasing, right? That will be it will showcase from your side. After that, we have to practice, right? Or
Yes.
you will okay.
We will tell you why companies are doing that. We will tell you how they are doing it. We will demonstrate that project step by step. Now, for that project to work on your side, you will have to replicate that over the next 1 week.
Okay, so which means there will be a guidelines from your side actually how to do this project and these all stuff, right?
Yes.
It's fine.
How to do it and why to do it. Why is also important. It's not just how to do it. It's not set of commands that you have to run and everything starts working. It has to be beyond that.
The actual concept. I got it.
Actual concepts, yes.
Yeah.
So I have to send you Slack join link, old recordings, maybe old PDFs also. What else?
So are you going to share that on
Yep.
the WhatsApp platform, or you're sending
Yes.
it through the Zoom? Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
So what is the timeline for each project?
1 week. Saturday we learn. By Wednesday, I expect you guys to do at least something so you can ask questions. And from that Wednesday till next Saturday, you finish that project. Now, I will not be tracking who is doing it or who is not doing it. That's entirely up to you. It's a big group. I think 30, 40 people have joined, and then there are a few people repeating it. We will not be tracking who is doing it, who is not doing it. That's you guys have paid for it. We will run it professionally. If a lot of people are not getting any concept, we are happy to repeat that session or do something if a majority of you are facing issues. But finishing that, learning that, we will leave entirely up to you. That's the professionalism we believe in. If you are stuck, we are there to help you. But if you don't ask, don't discuss, and you don't do it, it's entirely your problem then. I think I'm fair enough in that, right? Do you expect anything beyond that? Then let me know. Sachin, yes, Sachin.
Hi, Sanjeev.
Hi.
Sanjeev, I have a question. I know something about Azure, but not much about AWS. So if
Okay.
I do the project in Azure and ask a question on Wednesday, will you be able to help, or I had to kind of...
We will try our best to help you.
Okay, and do you suggest that I should do it on AWS and rather trying on Azure? So what's your suggestion here?
I would leave it to you rather.
Mhm.
Do you really want to, if you get a job description which says that we are on AWS cloud and any Azure professional is welcome to apply, would you apply for that opportunity or not?
Sorry. Uh, yeah, I'll try for that, because if I know Azure, I know those concepts are similar in a sense.
Correct. So in that case, you will, if the employer provides you an environment, you are happy to work in AWS as well, right?
Correct.
So in
Correct.
that case, I would suggest you rather build these projects on AWS as well.
Okay. Yep. Yep. I agree.
Just think from that point of view. Some of the projects, for example, there is an Ansible where we have to create 10 instances and uh, install Ansible somewhere and then do it. It doesn't matter which cloud platform you are using.
Correct. Correct.
If you are using, say, Kubernetes and you really want to try something on EKS or don't want to try EKS at all, then you can do it on Azure. There would be one or two such like a multi-account in AWS and multi subscriptions in Azure. They work entirely different. So the landing zone related project is completely different in Azure and AWS. So that's where real differentiation is. But rest of the things are like you can actually do all the projects in any of the cloud platform.
Yep. Understood. I
But
have one more point. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, but I would suggest depends on your experience and would you really want to apply into different clouds? I would suggest at least have slightly more like some knowledge on the other cloud platform is not harmful.
Yeah. I agree. Another point I had, because there are topics like Terraform, which I haven't actually worked on. So,
Mhm.
because you will start from the project, you will not, I'll say, talk about how Terraform works, what is the architecture, how it actually does the process the
Correct.
files, Terraform files. So, for all such things, will you provide some kind of, I'll say, suggestions, or what should we read before coming to the project, or should we try
Mm,
it our end?
You guys try it on in your own. It's not that we will not cover basics, but we will not spend hours on that. Like usually a Terraform bootcamp or Terraform dedicated Terraform program, learning program can be done in 10 hours, but we are
Understood.
doing a project in 3 hours. So we will spend on time on basics for say 30 minutes, not more than that. So we will look at state management, we'll look at basics, how to authenticate with AWS or Azure from your command line, and how to create infrastructure. So that basic we will cover for 30 minutes, 1 hour. So even if you don't know and you go and practice in your environment, you can still work on it. But
Understood.
for
Yeah.
you to really understand it, it would be amazing if you bring that knowledge or basic knowledge beforehand. Because if you don't know, if we talk about state management, from first session onwards, yes, you will be able to build the program. You will be able to build the project. But during the discussion, you will not be able to participate that properly.
Yep. But will you be able to provide some kind of references where we can go, and because like
No,
some or
not
something?
really. It's again entirely up to you.
Mhm.
That's why I have given you the overview. What we are going to cover in that program. What I expect is that you uh, build like do some your own. It could be YouTube, it could be ChatGPT. You do some research. What this topic is, what should be discussed, and what my questions could be, or all that your previous knowledge you should build before the session.
Got
And
it.
it could
Yeah.
be anything. I haven't like it could be from because I don't publish a lot of learning videos. It could be from any other YouTube channel also.
Yep. Yep.
That
Understood.
basic stuff. Just
Yep.
at least if don't get too much time and you are already busy in your work, at least spend 30 minutes, understand what Terraform is, and create hello world on that technology. That's it. If it's an Ansible project, just build a hello world in Ansible. Just build a hello world or one basic hello world means the
Yep.
basic operation in
Basic.
that tool. So you have that installed, you have it good to go. You have
Got
installed Terraform, you install you whether you create one single EC2 instance using Terraform, that itself will give you so much confidence that at least you can participate in the discussion and understand that. From there you can increase your knowledge.
Yep. Yep. Understood. Thank you.
Shubham, yes, Shubham.
Yeah, hi Sanjeev. So just want to know that whether these all 10 projects are interconnected to each other. I mean, suppose if I have from Terraform, I'm creating some EC2 instance, and then from Ansible, I'm trying to deploy those codes
Yes.
all
Yes.
into those all EC2 using that
Yes.
Ansible. How
Yes.
those are interconnected?
Yes. Oh, pretty much. That's how we actually started these projects. That the project should be integrated. first we create multiple AWS accounts, then we create Infa in AWS account, then we manage it with Ansible, then we deploy something on those instances. That's how the idea is that, yes, when we build the story, when we build it for interviews, we will showcase all these projects or most of them as connected projects.
Okay, so can I do one thing? I mean, can we try to have one service on my Google Cloud or something else on AWS and try to connect each other?
Yes, if you want to
Is
if you want to showcase multi-cloud scenario, yes, you can do that.
okay.
Was that the what you're looking for? Like some partially on some cloud and partially on other?
Yeah, I mean, if we can try that
Yeah.
in a
You
way so
can
that
try
we
it.
can showcase
We
our
can,
project.
yes, you guys can definitely try that, but the story behind that has to be smart and robust. It shouldn't be that that you say we have 10 EC2 instance in AWS and we run our serverless in Azure. Then the question could be why. So this story,
And by any chance, we will be using Ansible towers or something, or it's a basic that Ansible will be using.
basic Ansible, yes. Basic Ansible. Rather, Tower and other tools make it much easier to understand sometimes, but we'll not go that.
Okay, Sunil, thank you. Okay.
So I hope today it was quite well managed group. So you guys unmute yourself, ask the question, mute yourself. That's how we expect that you follow the same process. All
Hi,
right.
Sanjay.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. The last question. I want to ask you about the Wednesday session. Are we going to have something about any project, or we will not have any session, or
This Wednesday, we will
yeah,
probably will not have any session. No.
okay.
It will only be from next Wednesday when we'll do the project on Saturday and have session. And that session will not be a learning session and not mandatory for everyone. It's if you have doubts, you join that. If you are at office or stuck somewhere, it's entirely optional session, and it's quite random as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
So Wednesday, you guys can come with your questions, ask your questions upfront, clarify your doubts, and if you don't want to stick around, you can leave as well. So you guys can plan your Wednesday session how you want. Lola has question, internship certificate will be provided on request and will be provided if you really work on the projects. I mean, we can do it for everybody as well, but we want to put these such conditions so that you are a bit serious and really work on them. So I would suggest you work on the projects. It gives you confidence as well, showcasing that certificate. There's no pre-reading. If you really want to read, you can watch the previous session, or you can, based on the information that I have provided, what the project will cover, you can do your own pre-reading about Jira, agile way of working and all. Tomorrow we have session, but that's for another batch. That's for mentorship program. That session is for mentorship students only. So don't want to confuse. That has nothing to do with the projects program. Azim, no, the projects do not cover on-prem to cloud. However, when we build the story after the projects are done, we will say that these projects contributed to the migration to cloud. They accelerated the cloud adoption. So we will build that story, the migration story. But the project does not cover on-prem to cloud migration. I hope you got the idea, right? We'll cover a good story that how we, as a DevOps cloud engineer, helped our company when they were migrating from on-prem to cloud. We helped them in multi-cloud, multi-account, multi-environments, creating their AMIs, creating their Kubernetes cluster, containerize their app, securing the cloud, and all that. So that's how the story will be built, but will not the project as such will not cover on-prem to cloud. Okay, I think we have answered quite a lot of questions. Just stick to this same format uh, and Zoom link 30 minutes prior will be sent in the WhatsApp group, and that's how we make progress. All right, guys. Thank you so much for today, and I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you.
Sanjeev, one last question. Sorry.
Yes, Nilesh.
Just last. So you mentioned like there will be resume building and interview preparation sessions as well. So after completing these 10 projects, like will there be a dedicated session on resume building, interview preparation, or
Dedicated session, but a group session, not for your resume specifically.
no, not for us, because the flyer in the top mate course mentions that we can claim up to 3 to 4 years of experience after completing these 10 projects. So I would like to
Right.
understand like how can
We'll explain that.
yeah.
It's not that you have a career gap of 3 years and then you use this. That would be difficult. It would be easier if you already have some experience and you want to justify some of your past experience as a DevOps and cloud engineer. Then you can very well use it for a longer period.
Okay.
So we'll discuss those scenarios in that. But you would have got an idea, right? The projects that we are talking are
Yes.
really massive. These projects, if an organization has to do, will probably take 2-3 years minimum
Agree.
because they have so many different aspects. Mostly one single company will not do all these 10 projects. They will either be serverless, they will either be entirely on EC2, or they will be on Kubernetes. Not many organizations or one person will work on all of them in a single company. But the idea is that you able to apply for multiple organizations.
Wait, I have a
for taking-
question. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So I didn't quite understand, but from now until Wednesday, are we starting a project or are we starting one of the projects?
Not this week. No.
Not this week. Okay, it's next Saturday that we're
Next
starting.
Saturday is the first session on project. And
Okay.
this session will not be counted. This is like 10 more sessions on projects and then couple of more sessions on the LinkedIn and the resume and the interview prep.
Okay, great. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, did I miss out on something? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
You joined from start?
Yes, no, I joined. This is my first session, but I was seeing like last week that they were posting in the WhatsApp chat of Zoom link sessions, and I'm like, oh my God, do I keep missing it? Because I'm on Eastern time. So I'm like, wait, what's going on? There's stuff that's being posted at 5:30 a.m. I'm like, wait.
No, but then this session is equally important for you to understand how this will be run.
Yes.
Otherwise, that session will be so much like there could be distractions in that session otherwise. So this I'm hoping that will keep people on track.
Yes, this is perfect. Okay, so we haven't started any projects yet, so
Yeah.
I'm right on time. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next Saturday.
Yeah. Are there any more questions or should we?
So you said something about on the Slack. How do we go about the Slack? You didn't drop any link for the Slack yet.
I will after the session.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks. Bye.